Coming to you live from Larry's Inner Circle in Lake Wiley, South Carolina, the Goins Group is proud to present to you the world premiere episode of Invest in Yourself. And it's brought to you by the man HUD has on speed dial. He buys and sells more houses by 8 a.m. than most people do all day. So without further ado, your host, Larry Goins.
What's happening? How's everybody doing? I'm really excited that you're here for the world premiere, as Todd just said, of Invest in Yourself. We're really excited about it. We have been working behind the scenes. Well, I shouldn't say we. Todd and Sean have been working behind the scenes for at least 2 or 3 months to get this ready. And this is our world premiere episode of Invest in Yourself. And you guys have requested more of our team, more of knowing exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it. So I'm really excited about this. And I just want you to remember that you've got to invest in yourself. You've got to, whether it be home study courses or coaching or mentoring or going to events, you've got to do it. Watching events like this. And we've got a lot of great content scheduled for you today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce some of my most important valued team members that are in my real estate business to come up here and I'm going to introduce them to you and tell you a little bit about them. So let me see, who are we introducing first? I think we're introducing Paul first. Paul, come on in. Got to put that cell phone in your pocket.
Exactly.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, how you
doing? Guys, this is Paul Olson. And Paul is what I call my relational technologist.
Exactly.
You know, that's a name that I actually kind of coined, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul is just the man, the legend, and the myth. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to do not only real estate. You've done multifamily and stuff in the past, right?
I've messed with it a little bit.
Yeah, he's messed with multifamily. He's fixed and flipped houses. So I'm going to actually let you share a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Like you said, I've done some real estate stuff. I'm also very technology savvy. I was a broadcast engineer for about 7 years with a large church in the Fort Mill area. Worked on international broadcasts and things of that nature. Also very big in systemization and automation and things like that. And you'll find out more about that later on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, what Paul does with our business is Paul actually is in charge of working with our technical virtual assistants over in, you've got them everywhere, like the Philippines and Bangladesh, Bangkok, Dang, all those places.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you work with our VAs and also set up our systems and processes and procedures. And I think that's a little bit about what you're going to share today in your segment, right?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, that sounds good. Thanks a lot, and we'll be talking here in just a little bit.
All right.
Excellent. Okay, next I want to bring up Bill Fairman. Woo! Bill Fairman. What's up, Bill?
How you doing, Larry?
Or as I like to call him, Wendy's brother. Actually, I call you Billy, don't I?
Yes, you do.
You don't mind that, do you?
Absolutely not.
Good. So this is Billy Fairman, and he is Wendy Sweet's brother, but he is very successful, not only investor, but he and Wendy own Hard Money Millions, and they are our in-house hard money lender. They are the ones that finance any of our buyers of our properties that need hard money, and we work very, very close together, so I know I'm stealing your thunder, so tell them a little bit about what you do.
Well, Wendy and I are principals in Carolina Hard Money. We also manage a real estate investment fund where we get our money to lend out. Name of that fund is Carolina Capital Reserve Fund, and we manage that through Carolina Capital Management Company. It's strictly for managing the real estate investment fund, but we primarily lend in North and South Carolina. We will do loans outside of the surrounding area for the right deal. Would you like me to give you a little bit of background, or give the folks a little bit of background for me personally?
Yeah, that would be good.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, don't go into too much detail because I know it's a rocky past.
Besides that, I tend to ramble.
Okay, our time's up a Billy.
I've been in the mortgage industry for over 25 years. The majority of that time was spent in conventional single-family type loans. The majority of that time was spent in the wholesale industry. I have literally touched thousands of mortgage loans over this time because we actually called on other mortgage brokers throughout the region. I spent over 5 years on the commercial side as well, doing small balance commercial properties. And what I mean by small balance is $1 million or less in value. Again, I was in the wholesale side of that, so I touched hundreds and hundreds of commercial loans. So between Wendy and myself, we have tons of experience in financing properties, what a borrower needs to do and what the properties need to look like to be a really good risk.
Awesome. Good job. Very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice.
And we'll talk about why you would want to finance a property here later on in the show.
Okay, that's right. You're doing a whole segment yourself, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Thanks.
You very
Thanks
much.
for having
You the
me.
man, the legend and the myth. Okay, guys, next I want to bring up our operations manager for our investing business, Randolph Cunningham. Come on up. Woo! The man, the legend and the myth, live and in person. What's up?
Man, what's
How
happening?
you doing?
I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Is this awesome or what?
It is. It is. And,
This is
and it's just
great.
the beginning.
And these guys back here behind the scenes, Todd and Sean, I mean, these guys they've been working really hard, haven't they?
Man, they've been running like chickens with their head
I'm
cut
telling
off.
you, man, I hadn't seen them doing anything else except in here in the conference
That's
room
right.
since we
That's exactly
we
right.
decided to do this.
That's right.
Testing and tracking and all that stuff and getting everything lined up. So
It's a lot.
these
It's a lot.
guys are awesome. So, Randolph, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
All right. Where do I begin? Now, Larry, we've been knowing each other about a little over 10 years or so.
At least.
Yeah. And, you know, I got my start in real estate probably back in 2000 as a mortgage broker, loan officer. A good friend of mine taught me the business and met a lot of investors as clients and, you know, and just saw what they were doing and, you know, the kind of checks they were cashing out at the closing table. And it really perked my interest, man. And I dove head first in, just trying to learn the business and, you know, made a lot of mistakes just trying to learn and fumbling my way through it, man. And I came across you guys. Look, I don't know if I ever told you how I came across you guys, but I was looking for another lending source for my buyers. And,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. See, well,
That's cool.
because actually my first contact was Wendy, and I was looking for another lending source. And man, just talking to her and just about what you guys doing for investors and the services you guys are offering, and just fell in love with the company, man. Fell in love with Wendy, what you guys stood for. So, you know, I came on as a loan officer, you know that, and been doing wholesaling deals and done some fix and flips, some rentals, and a little bit of everything, man. You know, now what I really get excited about is being able to coach a lot of, you know, Larry's students and teaching them how to do what we do, you know, and really, man, I feel like it's almost like my gift of love, you know, really giving back. I just realized how hard it is when you're trying to get started, how to learn the details of doing deals. And, you know, I remember how I was. I didn't have the hand holding like I wish I had. And now I have an opportunity to give to people what I didn't have when I got started.
That's awesome.
So I really get pumped about that.
That's awesome.
But now I'm coaching a lot of your students and really handling the operations of the real estate side. So, you know, we're doing deals here. I'm doing deals on my own. I think that's important to stay in the trenches and you know, just being able to practice what we preach, which I think is really hard to find these days.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And for you guys, you know, Randolph mentioned about coaching our students. I don't think I brought this up, but Randolph is our head coach. He works with many of our students that over the phone, you know, has regular, you know, scheduled calls with them and help them. And you have many successful students. I know. Yeah. I hear Randolph telling me all the time about, you know, I just got another student bought another house, or got a student bought their first house, or whatever. And and I can tell. I don't know if you guys can tell, but you can see it in this guy that he is passionate about that. He's passionate about helping people.
Yeah.
He's passionate about sharing his success and wealth. And I got to tell you, over the years, I have worked with various different coaches that worked with me, and and you guys know all about the coaches out there in Utah and things like that. But Randolph is the only person I've ever worked with as a coach coaching my students that I have never had an unhappy customer or client. It just blows me away. And I can't even say that about myself, okay? I hate to say this, but I've had one, yeah, just one, but I had one person, I couldn't make them happy, but Randolph did. I moved him over to Randolph, and he made him happy. And
I just taught them what he taught me. So
I don't know. That's anyway. But he is the man, the legend, and the myth live here and in person. And I'm going to have him stay up here with me as we go through the 5 most recognized challenges, or the 5 challenges that I hear from different students as I travel around the country, even around the world, teaching real estate. And the very first one that I want to talk about, Randolph, is education, okay? Now, the first thing I want to say is there's a lot of different types of education. There's like this, a live event. This is what you would call a Google Hangout, I guess. And there's webinars, there's teleconferences, there's podcasts, there's home study courses, there's live events, there's coaching and mentoring. And I want you guys to know that even though I'm not a college graduate, I've never set foot on a college campus other than a RIA group I spoke at that had their meetings there. But, I'm not a college graduate, but I'm a firm believer in education. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you, don't let something like this, we're going to give you a lot of content. We're going to give you a lot of information. We're going to give you as much as we can in this kind of environment. But I got to tell you, it doesn't substitute for a home study course that's niche specific.
That's right.
It doesn't substitute for having a coach or a mentor to walk you through exactly what you need and how you need it. Somebody to hold your hand, somebody to give you a pat on the back when you need it, or a kick in the butt when you need it. It doesn't substitute for that. So, take this for what it's worth. There's a lot of time and effort and production going into something like this, but I got to tell you, it's not a substitute for, I wouldn't even call it formal education, but for home study courses that provide you with scripts, forms, documents, spreadsheets, letters, automation. Paul's going to be talking about automation here in a few minutes. And, but just remember, there's a lot of different education out there, and you can get overwhelmed. You can get overwhelmed. And we're going to talk more about that in a few minutes. But what are your thoughts about the education?
It is vital. It is vital. Just being able to invest in yourself. And that's the most important investment you can make. The more education you have about the niche that you're trying to get yourself into, and oftentimes you can be the jack of all trades and the master of none. You've collected a lot of courses, but you really never dug in and educated yourself. So you got a shelf full of information, and you haven't really put it on the inside. It don't help you being on the shelf. No. You got to get it in you, and taking the time to invest in yourself is vital. It is vital.
That's absolutely true. I read somewhere, I can't remember who said it, but I read somewhere that it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. And I don't mean this in a wrong way, but don't take this the wrong way, but I do feel like I'm an expert in the real estate business. Maybe that's why you're watching, but I feel like it. And I got to tell you this, I feel like everybody on my team is also an expert at real estate. Randolph has things that he's an expert in. Randolph teaches me things every day. Paul teaches me things every single day. I remember yesterday you and I were having a conversation about, did you hear what Paul just did?
Yeah.
That just blew me away. I'm like, whoa, how did he do that?
Right.
It amazes me. And education is not only getting books, getting tapes, going to seminars, going to live events. Like I'm having an event coming up, HUD, what are we calling it? Nothing But HUD. You can go to nothingbut.hud.com. That's nothing with a G. Nothing but HUD. I'm from South Carolina. So nothingbut.hud.com, and we're having that event coming up. and we're going to teach all about buying and selling HUD houses. We're going to have people there from, you know, a HUD buyer's agent, listing agent. You're going to be there. Paul's going to be there as well, our VAs. But anyway, education is very, very important. So I think the bottom line is I want you to find somebody that you know, like, and trust, whether it's me or Randolph or Paul or anybody, but find somebody you know, like, and trust and latch on to them and learn as much as you can, even if you got to buy your way in. I remember we're in masterminds,
right,
you know, and we have a lot of our inner circle students that become very, very successful. So we recommend this mastermind that we're in.
That's right.
And we pay, when we started, it was $12,000 a year. Remember that?
Now it's more like 15 or so, isn't it?
I think it's 20 now.
Is it 20?
It's 20 now.
Wow.
But we've been in it for 4 different years, 4 consecutive years, and it's a mastermind. And when our inner circle students get to that level with it, they're ready, we recommend that they get into it as well, because when you're dealing with other like-minded people that are very, very successful, you can learn a tremendous amount. And that's the level that you want to get to. You want to get to the point to where you're able to associate with and hang out with like-minded people. So whatever you need to do, if it's buy-in, you need to go ahead and do it.
That's right.
Anything else you want to add?
I'll always remain a student. That's right.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that's cool. Guys, that's it for education. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk about fear. False evidence appearing real.
That's right.
So we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
See Larry Goins live in a city near you. Larry's headed to Dania Beach, Florida next week. That's April 1st to see our friends at BRIA, the Broward Real Estate Investors Association. They'll be at the IGFA Hall of Fame in Dania Beach, Florida. Visit bria.com for more details. Also, April 26th, Larry will be in Las Vegas at the Embassy Suites talking real estate. It's a Sunday at noon. Keep your eyes open for more information. And now back to Larry and Randolph.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks a lot for watching. If you're just now joining us, this is the premiere episode of Invest in Yourself, and I'm here live with Randolph Cunningham, the man, the legend, and the myth, right here sitting beside me. And last episode we were talking about education, all the different types of education, and this episode, or I should say this segment, we want to talk about fear. What is fear? It's really, in my opinion, it's false evidence appearing real, okay? A lot of people think that real estate is scary. It's scary. But you know, real estate is not scary. What's scary is being uneducated. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, it's so many people have a fear of real estate. They have a fear of becoming successful. They have a fear of failure. They have a fear of ridicule, a fear of success. Some people can't handle the success. They can't handle it. They don't know what to do with it. And I got to tell you, it all starts right here in your mind. And Randolph is the best I know at changing people's perspective, their whole, what's that word I'm looking for? Paradigm.
That's right.
Well, I mean, a lot of what you do in helping students, it's not just real estate. It's personal development. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. And you said it all starts here. And you know, all of us come from different backgrounds. I mean, for me, and I think about my own personal life, my family, I never saw success in business. I never saw what that looked like. So if you've never seen what it looked like, how do you know when you're doing it right?
Or when you get there.
When you get there, you know, you've never been there. What does it look like? And you're right, fear, false evidence appearing real. You know, and oftentimes having the fear of the unknown, the fear of success, a lot of time what that looks like is stagnation. You know, fear is paralyzing. Sometimes when you see something, say, hey, I'm not familiar with that, it causes you to do nothing. Now, how many of us have experienced that? I know I have. And I'll be the first to admit it. Going down new paths. Even when I got started in real estate, You know, there are certain aspects that I didn't know and that I wasn't clear on. And you know what? I did nothing. I did nothing. But
a confused mind says no, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So fear and getting over that mindset of fear is key. And you're right, that is part of what I have to do with a lot of our students, is not just teach them what to do, but what kind of mentality they need to get it done, because it starts here. You're not doing anything before it starts here. People say, well, I did this, I wasn't thinking. Oh yeah, you were thinking. We don't do anything without thinking about it.
That's right.
You know, so if you can get the right mindset and overturn that fear and not let fear stop you, like I've heard it said, do it afraid.
Do it afraid. That's awesome.
You may be fearful, but do it afraid. Don't let the fear stop you.
I need a notepad. I got to start writing some of this stuff down. That's good stuff. And you got to do that. And there's so many people that, whether you realize it or not, or you really think about it or not, you have this mentality that I'm only worth X per year. Do you see that?
Absolutely.
And I mean, if you think you're only worth $12 an hour, $15, $25 an hour, then your subconscious is going to make you hit that glass ceiling, right? They're going to make you hit that, because once you get there, your mentality is going to be, I'm not worth anymore. Then you're going to start. I see it in different kind of salespeople. I've been in sales over the years. I remember sales managers talking to me and telling me, you know, you got to get out of this mentality that you're only worth $100,000 a year. No, you got to get the mentality that I'm worth $500,000, $1 million a year,
right.
Whatever it is. You know, I get people come to me and they'll say, I just want to make $100,000 a year. You ever heard somebody say that?
Yep.
You know what my standard answer is? How much is that a month? If they can't say 8333, then they haven't thought about it very much. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. That's right.
So guys, you got to get over your fear. Whatever it is you need to do, some personal development, some motivation. Motivation is temporary. Motivation's got to come from in here. It's got to come from within. You have to live it, breathe it, and be it. Okay? Nobody can make you be motivated. Nobody can motivate you except for you. You've got to do it. You got to do it yourself. Wouldn't you agree?
That's right. And a lot of times you got to surround yourself. You mentioned this, I think, in another thing about surrounding yourself with like-minded people.
Yeah.
And people who are positive, people who are on the same track that you're on, people that are already where you're trying to get to. Because really what fear is telling you, you can't do this. You're not worth this. But you got other people around you that say, hey, I did this. I make this. Then you say, oh, sure, shoot. If this rascal can do it, I can do it.
There you go. Absolutely. If you can do it, I can do it. Right?
If you can do it, I think I can do it.
There you go. That's awesome. Well, guys, our next segment, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about money, okay? We're going to talk about money. So there's a lot of different things about money. When somebody tells me that I have no money, when somebody tells me they have no money, the first thing I say is, how much is no money? How much is no money? 5,000, 10,000? What might be no money to you is different to me. It's different to Randolph. If somebody brought me a deal and said, you know, here's a deal, I need $2 million cash, well, that might be no money to me, okay? You know, and some people out there might say, hey, if you need $200 cash, that's no money to me, because I don't have $200 cash, you know?
Right.
But you got to start thinking about money different. We talked about education, we talked about fear. You need to start thinking about money different. Guys, money is just a tool that gives you the freedom to spend your time any way you want to. Now, I know everybody wants to know, because that's one of the big challenges. One of the 5 is money. I have no money. So how do you do deals with no money? So Randolph and I are going to go through and talk about that, okay? There's a lot of different ways to close and funnel deals with no money. First thing you can do is assignments, right?
That's exactly right.
Tell them what an assignment is.
Assignment is when you take control of a property, piece of real estate, contractually, right? And instead of having to close on it or purchase that property, you can actually assign your rights to purchase that property to someone else for a fee. Right?
For a fee.
That's right.
That's the most important part.
That's right.
You know, really, I've heard people put it this way. When you're doing assignments, you're not selling houses, you're selling contracts. I have a contract on this house to buy it for $50,000. Okay? I'm going to sell my contract to you for $10,000. Okay? Now you're going to have 60 in it.
That's right.
Right? That is an assignment. And all you do with an assignment is when you're buying a property, wherever you put the buyer's name on your contract, you're going to put the word and or assigns right after your name or the company name that you're buying it in.
Right.
It's literally as simple as that. Now, I will tell you this. It's very difficult to assign a bank-owned property, a MLS-listed property, where you're primarily going to use assignments is you're going to use them with for sale by owner, unadvertised properties you get off of bandit signs, Craigslist, that sort of thing, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, because you can't assign HUD houses or anything like that, okay? Now, how else can you do deals? You can do options. Now, what is an option? You need an option agreement. It's going to be in a home study course that you're going to have, okay? That's a part of that education. You're going to also need an assignment form to assign a contract. You have your contract and you have an assignment form. Like in my Ultimate Buying and Selling Machine, we have assignments in there because that's a part of buying and selling houses the same day, okay? You want to do that. It's the quickest way to get you some cash in your pocket. So options, what is an option? An option is the right but not the obligation to buy a house. In other words, Randolph, I know you own your house. You could give me, okay? He could give me an option to buy his house for $300,000 for the next 90 days. I could give him $10 option consideration, okay? There has to be option consideration. As long as there's some option consideration, it's a valid agreement, okay? Right. So I give you $10, you give me the option to buy your property for $300,000. Now, say I find somebody willing to pay me $350,000 for your house, okay? What I do is I'm going to assign my option, okay, to someone else. I'll have that agreement as well. And now I exercise my option to buy his house. We're going to go to a closing, and I get my $50,000 because I basically assigned the option to someone else at the closing table. It's all done the exact same day. Real estate day trading, buying and selling houses the same day using the internet. So that's two different ways. What are some other ways that you can fund some of your deals, right?
Real estate day funding, doing back-to-back closings, buying and selling the house all in the same day. And there are companies out there that will give you the money to buy the house. Now, I'm not talking about a traditional mortgage that you get from your institutions like Wells Fargo, Bank of America. These guys don't care about your credit. They don't care about your job history. They don't care about your income. All they care about is that the person you're selling a house to wires their funds to the closing agent or title company the same day that you're going to buy it. Example, I have this property I'm going to purchase for $50,000, and I'm going to sell it to Larry for $60,000. I'm going to make $10,000 on this deal, but I don't have $50,000. Transactional funding companies will give me the $50,000 to buy the house, as long as Larry wires his $60,000 to the closing attorney. And long as that happens, they will send the $50,000 for me to buy it. He sends his $60,000. They give me the $10,000 in the middle. It's a good day. But again, I didn't need any money for that. So that's another way. We do those all the time. All the time. Actually, we remember our closing attorney called us up and said, hey, you guys need to make sure that you guys are doing these deals and making sure your buyer is sending the funds 24 to 48 hours prior to closing. And you don't even have to send any funds. So a lot of times we don't even have to use a transactional funding company.
Did you guys hear that? That's called a simultaneous close, okay? We did. I mean, it used to be in the past you could get just about any attorney or title company to use your buyer's money to fund your seller, and you were in the middle. But that's very, very rare these days. Yeah. But if you have an attorney or title company that knows you, likes you, and trusts you, in fact, I was on the phone the other day with Ginger, one of the paralegals at one of our attorney firms that we work with, and she said, "Why are you guys wiring the money on all these deals?" I'm like, "Well, aren't we supposed to?" She said, "Well, as long as your buyer has their money here, you don't even need to do that. So all we really have to do is put up the $500 or $100 or $10 if it's an option or whatever. That's all we really have to do is just put up that deposit amount." And guess what, guys? We're doing that with HUD houses. We're buying and selling the HUD houses with no more than the deposit, which is typically, if the house is purchased for $50,000 or less, it's a $500 deposit. If it's over $50,000, it's a $1,000 deposit,
That's
right?
Yeah.
All we're putting up is the $500 to $1,000 deposit on HUD houses. There's no reason. You have no excuse not to go out and buy a HUD house.
Right.
You have no excuse not to go out and do a deal. You can do it. And there's a lot of other ways you can fund trust. You create a trust. There's another education that you need. You need to know and learn about trust. I know about trust. I've been to events. I have home study courses about trust from other people, and I still attend events. We even attended an event, you and Paul and myself and Deanna, our CFO, we went down to Atlanta and attended an event on trust.
That's right.
And we still spend probably $20,000, $30,000 a year on education, not only for myself, but for our team as well. So you can use a trust. You create a trust, and there's a beneficiary of the trust. For example, say I'm buying Randolph's house. I'm going to create a trust, then I'm going to buy the property in, and then I'll be the beneficiary. Now, if I want to sell that property and make $10,000, I just sell my beneficial interest in the trust, and the property doesn't even change hands again. I'm basically selling personal property. A trust is personal property, not real estate. Randolph deeds the property into the trust, okay? And all this is done at closing. Deeds it into the trust at closing, and I change the beneficial interest from me to my end buyer, okay? And that's how you can do basically a no money down deal, or you don't have to come up with the funds except for the deposit that I gave Randolph to get the property under contract, okay? Another thing you can do is you can create a new LLC or corporation and then just sell the shares. I could buy this property in the name of, say he lived at 125 Oak Street. I would buy the property in 125 Oak Street LLC. Then I would find a buyer to pay me whatever I wanted to make on it, $50,000 say, and then I would sell my shares, 100% of the shares in that LLC, 125 Oak Street LLC, and I would sell it to my end buyer, okay? I would sell it to my end buyer. So that's another way that you can fund one of your private money. There's private money and there's hard money. There's a lot of different things. Are there any other sources that you could think of?
Not right off, man.
But there's a lot of them.
It is.
There's a lot of different sources. Yeah. You can use sites like Prosper.com, LendingClub.com, any of the what's called micro lending sites or peer-to-peer lending sites. What do they call them now? They call them crowdfunding.
That's right.
Crowdfunding sites. There's a lot of different ones out there. Fundanything.com. I saw that one. I was looking around last night. I'm always doing research myself. So. Guys, there's just a lot of different ways you can close and fund on the deal, and there's no reason at all no matter what your situation is, that you can't get out there and start doing a deal. That's right. So that's it for no money. Now you have no excuse. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Paul talking about systems.
You can get a real estate education for just pennies a day. We call it the Coaching Club, and it houses hundreds of hours of training videos, documents and forms, and everything else you need to learn a lot about real estate. Find out more today by calling 803-831-2858 or by visiting coachingclubspecialoffer.com. Once again, that's 803-831-2858 or visit coachingclubspecialoffer.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm really excited to be here. If you're just now joining us, I'm here with Paul Olson, the man, the legend, and the myth, our relational technologist. He takes technology and relates it to real estate. This guy is a systems guy. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to do it. He is the one that literally blows me away with technology. Some of the things he comes up with, I'm like, how did you think of that? You know? I'm serious. It really blows me away. And all of our training, all of our education, our home study courses, our inner circle participants, Paul is a very big part of that, because I'm a firm believer in surrounding yourself with successful people, and then that will help you become successful. And Paul is one of those people. So, Paul, what are you going to share with us today?
You know, one of the things I've noticed with a lot of people is that they have a hard time getting going with systems. they see so much stuff that's out there to do, and they're like getting confused and lost as to what to do because they don't have a system in place. They don't have a place to store stuff. They don't have any type of frame of reference as to where to go to start making this stuff happen.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do today is show you guys a few little pieces of software that can help you do some different things and help get you guys going with a system to be able to make stuff happen. Right here's the first one that I'm going to start working with, and it's called Nitro Reader. I know a lot of you guys, one of the first things you got to do is you got to make offers.
Yeah.
That offers, right? Is that
that's
that's
the
real
most
estate,
important things in real estate.
Exactly. Three most important things. So what we do from there is we just go ahead and use Nitro Reader, and hang on one sec. So what we use is Nitro Reader, and for it we actually go ahead and use it for our PDF writer. And with it, it can do different things like help you read offers and stuff like that. But even more than that, what all you do is be able to sign documents and things like that. So it's a great way for you to help automate and get going with your offers.
So what's that website name?
GoNitro.com.
GoNitro.com.
Mm-hmm.
Now, guys, Paul's going to share a lot of little tips and techniques and strategies with you about different kinds of systems, but I want you to remember, don't get overwhelmed.
Exactly.
Don't let it scare you. Just start with one little thing, okay?
And all these things won't be even anything that you may be able to use. What you need to do is be able to look at these things and say, will this fit for what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
Each person works very differently. And that's what I love about technology is it's very flexible. So it can actually work with different people and do different things. Nitro Reader is something that works great for us to be able to sign our contracts and make it all happen real quick. Another thing that's really good for us, especially for the person who's on the go, it's one of those, you get all kinds of things. You look at Zillow and you're like, man, I want to remember this property. You go to this and that, and you just want to be able to remember stuff and be able to keep it all organized.
Sure.
You want to be able to do it from your phone, your laptop, or whatever. There's another program out there called Evernote.
Oh, I love Evernote.
Evernote's the best.
I have my notes for this show on Evernote.
It's amazing. I mean, I think of it as like my personal file storage cabinet. I take it everywhere with me. And something most people don't even realize is you can create a note, you can attach even documents to that note.
Yeah.
Like you can attach a PDF or anything like that. So it's a great way for you to be able to set up a different way to manage your properties. So you can even set up a note for your property that you're making an offer on, and you attach the contract that you made the offer with. You could even be on Zillow and make a little clip. There's little clips in the web browser for Evernote that allow you to be able to clip that page and bring it right into Evernote.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
It's really cool. I love it for everything. I make notes in it. In fact, I'll be in meetings. I'll just be sitting there typing. It's all in my Evernote so that I can remember it later. I can set task reminders. It's really cool that way.
And you can even add audio to a note.
Exactly.
It's Evernote, evernote.com, I believe, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and the cool thing about Evernote that I really like is it'll sync right with your smartphone. So whatever I type on my computer, literally within a couple minutes I can pull it right up on my smartphone. And it's right there, live, and then if I want to make some notes or add some notes on my smartphone, then it'll come right up on my computer or iPad or whatever your tablet device might happen to be. So I really love Evernote also.
Yeah,
I've been using it for years.
I think I was in it whenever, like within the first 6 months of them releasing it.
Really?
I've been using it ever since.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's amazing. It really is. Another thing is you'll start finding, especially if you start working with virtual assistants, they're not in the office next door.
No.
They're not.
They're in Bangla, Spang, Dang, Sangong, or something.
Exactly. So you got to be able to get stuff to them. You got to be able to talk back and forth. Evernote, once again, you can share notebooks with them.
Yeah.
The other thing you can do is you got to be able to share files. We here at the office use something called Google Drive. Google Drive is very similar to Dropbox. It allows you to be able to put all your documents in it. The thing I like about Google Drive over Dropbox is I get 15 gigabytes of online storage for free.
Wow.
Dropbox,
That's huge.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
Dropbox only gives me 2.
Oh, wow.
So, some different stuff like that. The other thing is I can do with Google Drive, I can actually write up documents within it. It's attached to my email account. So I can go up there and type up Word documents, spreadsheets, and all that kind of stuff, and I can share that with my virtual assistants. And my virtual assistants can also do work and share it right back to me. So Google Drive is a great way to be able to work remotely Once again, it connects up to my smartphone, it connects up to my laptop, it connects up to my iPad, so I can go anywhere and pull any of that stuff up and be able to do my work wherever I'm going.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And if you don't know how to get to Google Drive, Paul will tell you.
Exactly. What you do is you start up a Gmail account, just normal Gmail email account, and then from there within Gmail, there's an option to go ahead and open up your Drive account. There's like a little box at the top right that's a little square. You just click on that. It'll say Drive. You just go right on into it.
There you go. And the cool thing about it is whether you're using virtual assistants or you have realtors in other states like we do. Paul was telling me yesterday some of the things that he does, like he puts our proof of funds letter in there. And when we get a HUD house in another state, he'll drop a FedEx label in there, and they just pick it up and grab it, and then they're using our FedEx label to FedEx the docs over to the asset manager if it's an Alabama property or a Tennessee property or Georgia or Kentucky or wherever, right?
And you know, it's stuff like that that sets us apart from everybody else. It's that level of professionalism, because there's a lot of wannabe investors out there who they're just trying to, I mean, I don't know if there's an easier way to say it, but they're really just trying to weasel their way into a deal. Whereas we come in there, we bring professionalism, we bring the business experience behind it, to when a realtor sees what we're bringing, they have no issues working with us because they see that we're professional. And stuff like that, where you're already set up, where you're already going, you're bringing that professionalism with it, it takes all the questions they may have out of the picture and go, this is a guy I need to be working with. This is a mover and a shaker, because they got their systems. They know what they're doing. They got the talk. They've got everything in place. They got all the forms. Bam. Right.
It makes a huge difference.
Huge difference.
It's all about the perception becomes a reality. Guys, if you're brand new, if you've never done a deal, it's okay. You got to fake it till you make it.
That's right.
You got to talk the talk and walk the walk. You don't have to have done 100 deals, okay? But if you sound like it over the phone, they're going to treat you like that. In fact, when I'm talking to realtors, one of the things I want the realtors to think, I won't think and confuse me with an agent, okay? I won't talk to. In fact, a lot of times, you'll know this. If you get a question from the realtors you're talking to and they say, are you an agent? You'll know you're doing the right thing. Wouldn't you agree?
Right. That's exactly right.
If you get those questions, I mean, I use terms like listing, inventory, stuff like that. I don't say, I was calling about the house on 125 Oak Street, can you tell me a little bit about it? No, I'm going to say, we need to get an offer to you on your listing at 125 Oak Street. That's the way I would leave a message with somebody.
Exactly.
If I'm calling a realtor, I'm not going to call and say, yeah, I want to get some information. Realtors don't make any money giving out information, okay? But if you call and leave a message with them, which most of them you call, you're going to get their voicemail anyway, because they're out in the field, wherever that is.
Exactly. Exactly.
You call the office and they're like, he's out in the field. I'm like, where's that at? What is he, a farmer? But anyway, but I'm going to call and leave a message. I'm going to say, hey, this is Larry. Larry Goins, how you been? I need to get an offer to you on your listing at 125 Oak Street. Hit me back as soon as you can. If you don't have my number handy, here it is. Okay? Number one, I say my name's Larry, like you should know it. But if you don't, Larry Goins, how have you been? Who do you say how you been to?
Somebody you know.
Somebody you know. I need to get an offer to you on your listing, okay, at 125 Oak Street. Hit me back. Hey, in case you don't have my number handy, like you should have it, but in case you don't, here it is. All those little things are subliminal, but they're things that people hear, and their subliminal subconscious makes them think, I know this guy. Where do I know this name from? Where do I know this name, right?
That's exactly right.
So you got to fake it till you make it. That's the most important thing right there.
That's so true.
Awesome.
And all these tools, all they do is they just help you get it to where you're faking to where you make it type of thing. Now, for those of you who may be a little bit further along, I also have a tool called Podio. Podio is a customizable database. This is one where you can go in and you can create your own templates for tracking your properties, for dealing with your people that are your connections, So you can have an address book within there. You can add files to it. You can have different types of, like what we use it for our leads. You know, we'll have different voicemails out there for different things, and then when that voicemail comes in, it'll email it into our Podio account. So there's different things you can do with Podio, but it's one of those, it's very customizable. It can do a lot of things. You need to be a little bit more tech savvy or be able to have a VA that's familiar with it. I've been working on it for quite a while, and we're getting a pretty good system in place for ourselves that may become available, we'll see, to other people. But you know, it's a good system to look at if you've got a little bit more tech staff to you.
And how would they find Podio?
Podio.com. Just go there, and what's even more beautiful about it is, for startup and for the average person who doesn't do much in it, it's free.
Free?
That's right.
Free's for me.
And here's the beautiful thing. Almost everything I'm listing today is free or has, whenever you hit up to a more professional level, you can get bumped up.
Wow, that's awesome. One of the things you mentioned, I don't know if you guys really caught this or not, maybe you did, but Paul said when leads come in, people call an automated voice message. When the leads come in, they're automatically emailed and sent into Podio, and a record is created.
That is correct.
Tell them how that works, and then not only is a record created, but what happens from there.
What happens from there is, well, let's start off. What we do is we use a company called Freedom Voice, freedomvoice.com, and they are one that we can buy 800 numbers from, local number, anything like that, and we pay a monthly fee for that. If you don't want to pay for that type of level of service, get yourself a Google Voice number.
Google Voice, it's free.
It's free. And with that, you can just forward that voicemail to Podio. Podio has an option within it. It has an email option, and it just says, hey, here's the email address for this account. When you email this, it'll create a record here. So it creates a record, which then creates an opportunity for our guys who buy the houses or the ones who sell the houses.
What's an opportunity?
An opportunity is a
like a task,
or something that's just come up that allows the person to either have the opportunity to buy a property or sell a property. It's somebody who's raised their hand and says, hey, I'm interested in selling my property or in buying my property. So that's all an opportunity is. It's just a hand raise.
So when somebody calls and leaves a voicemail, that voicemail, an email is sent to a specific email address to your account at Podio, which creates a contact record.
Exactly.
Based on the number that it came from.
That's right.
It's either a buyer or a seller.
That's correct.
So then, if it's a seller lead that came off of one of our We Buy Houses signs, then it creates an opportunity or a task for Tom in our office to pick up the phone and call, listen to that message, and then call that person back, correct?
That's correct. That is exactly correct. And then it's one of those that we can go in there, we can tag them with different things, tagging basically put them in different categories. Are they an investor buyer or retail buyer, things like that? Are they somebody who's desperate to sell a property? Are they not? So, you know, it's all customizable. You can do a lot with it that way. But it's one of those that we literally don't answer our phone. We only just call back to the people once we've gotten the voicemail.
I love it. So, that's awesome. And it's all this guy right here. he worked. It blows me away, the stuff that he's done with Podio. It really does.
Two more things. So now you've gotten to where you're talking to your realtors. You're able to keep all your documents. You're getting some offers out there. You've been able to keep up with all that. You got records being tracked. Now we need to actually market the property, right?
Oh, yeah. Got to get it sold.
Got to get it sold because that's where we get the paycheck. So I've got two places for you to go. When we get our property, first two things we do. Number one, we put it on the ultimate internet marketing machine.
There you go.
We use our own website. It does great for us. It allows us to point all of our people right there, be able to actually put all of our documents and everything like that to we actually point them just right straight there. InvestorsRehab.com. You can see our properties there. You can see what we're doing with it. The other thing that we do is we know that not everybody has a website. So we also go to Postlets.com because a lot of people see and go to Zillow, right?
Sure.
Zillow, Trulia, that kind of thing. So we go to Postlets.com, which is owned by Zillow. Most people don't realize that, but Postlets is actually owned by Zillow.
No, I didn't know that.
It's real funny. And then they actually syndicate out to Trulia, which I think Zillow is almost about to close on Trulia.
I think they are. Yeah, they're buying them out.
They're buying them out. So it's one of those that Zillow is becoming a pretty good monopoly for marketing your stuff. So you do want to get your stuff out there. So we put it on Postlets. The other thing with Postlets is it does a great job of creating a property flyer. You need to be able to go to the RIA group with your property flyer, so you have it right there. The other thing that's so beautiful about it is it just gets it everywhere. Now, there's one caveat.
Okay.
There is a caveat to this one. So a realtor still has it listed on the MLS. There can only be one listing for that property on Zillow at a time.
Okay.
So unless the realtor has actually removed it or put it under contract or something like that, it will not get out to all those places. But it still will give you a template to be able to put it on Craigslist and stuff like that.
Good.
But that is one thing to watch out for, and this is one of the things that I do is I watch to see when that realtor takes it down, and as soon as they do, I'm making sure I'm property up there to where I can get my marketing all over.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So there we go.
That's great. That's some really good stuff, Paul.
Awesome.
Can you see why he's the relational technologist now? This guy is the man. He's always coming up with new ideas, and in future episodes of Invest in Yourself, I'm going to have Paul in here. He's going to be sharing some of the things with you about not only how we market our properties, but how we get buyer leads, all of our different sources for properties, how he sets up multiple states. I mean, and you're not a programmer or a coder or anything.
No, I'm not even a coder.
Yeah. He calls himself an artist, okay?
Yep.
And that really is true. I mean, he's not a coder, he's not a programmer, he doesn't write the code for this stuff, but he can think in his mind, what do I want this to do? And then he makes it happen through either other systems and processes and procedures or bringing in other people. And you can find people to do this on Odesk or Elance or Freelancer or whatnot, something like that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Use other people's resources. You just paint the picture.
There you go. That's good. So, Paul, man, this was awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all that.
That's great.
That's really cool stuff. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to talk about how are you going to do real estate if you have no time. We'll be right back.
Face it, you need to know about HUD. Join a team of world-class experts at our upcoming event, Nothing But HUD. You'll be sitting on the edge of your seat for 2 days as HUD realtors and attorneys reveal all of their secrets. And you'll be ready for action as we will be teaching our entire HUD model that we use to buy and sell properties in 6 states and soon to be 16 states. It is happening in Charlotte, North Carolina, May 22nd and 23rd. There's only 39 seats left as of this moment. So register today by calling 803-831-2858 or by visiting nothingbutHUD.com. Once again, that's 803-831-2858. Or visit us online at nothingbutHUD.com.
Okay, welcome back to Invest in Yourself. I'm really excited about this segment here. We're going to talk about what do you do when you have no time, and then right after that, we're going to run right in to Randolph. And Randolph is going to talk about, what are you going to talk about?
Building your power team.
Building your power team. He was actually supposed to be on a little earlier, but I just blew right by him for some reason. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I'm sorry.
Appreciate you.
So here's what we're going to talk about right now. We're going to talk about what do you do when you have no time. You know, in designing my different training programs, home study courses, I realized that a lot of people out there who are getting started in real estate, and maybe you can jump in here, but a lot of people we talk to and work with, they're already working a full-time job, right?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Yeah, they're working a full-time job, and they're trying to get into real estate. Here's what happens. Everything that you're taught out there, I shouldn't say everything, most of everything that you're taught out there about real estate, you got to go out and do it yourself. You got to go out and meet with the realtors. You got to meet with the contractors, meet with the appraisers, a title company, attorneys, all that good stuff. Well, see, here's what you're doing. You're working your job, okay? Then you're trying to do real estate nights and weekends, okay? And what ends up happening is you have 2 jobs. You didn't want the first one. Now you got 2. So I try to design all of my education and training given the fact that most people already have a full-time job that they're trying to get out of, okay? Mm-hmm. So what you got to learn to do is you got to learn to focus on the top strategic items items, not non-strategic, but strategic. What is a strategic item? A strategic item would be making offers. A non-strategic item will be designing a logo, okay? You're not going to, I mean, yeah, you need a logo eventually, but you're not going to make any money designing a logo, okay? Or ordering business cards. I mean, you know, get somebody to do that for you. Get some business cards at Vistaprint or something, okay? But you need to work on strategic items. Strategic items are anything that's going to bring money into your pocket. What are your thoughts?
I mean, you're exactly right. And even though a lot of things are nice to have and are helpful, they're not a must. And you got to be able to know the difference, because when you're starting out, you have very limited time. You got to focus on what's going to actually make you money. So you're absolutely right about that.
That's absolutely true. I mean, the thing about it is it blows me away. People want this gadget, that gadget, the other gadget. You know, so and so came out with a new software. So, you know, how does this compare to this? Yeah. You know, and then some people say, well, I just want to buy one course and that's all I'll ever need. What? Have you seen my library? I got like, how many, like 5 or 6 bookcases. That's right. Then I just put 2 more on each side, and I got 2 bookcases at home, and I got 2 or 3 boxes full of stuff laying in my office, and I go to events all the time, not only RIA meetings, but I go to seminars and events, and I'm in a mastermind. So, you know, it can get overwhelming. You can get information overload. What you need to do is pick what you want to do, okay? Right. And you need to focus on that. You know, I'm going to do the filthy riches model. I'm going to be a hard money lender or borrower, but whatever it is, I'm going to do short sales. Whatever it is, you need to focus on it. Let me ask you a question, Randolph. In coaching a lot of the students, do you find that you have to help them decide what that is, because there's only so many hours in the day?
And that's right. I mean, and like you, a lot of them have bookshelves of courses and books and things and really what you find yourself being is the jack of all trades, master of none, when really you need to be the jack of maybe a few trades, but focused on one until you get really good at that one trade and then start to make some money. So I mean, you're right. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out here, and I guess part of my job, and you asked, I mean, part of my job is to find out what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what part of the business they get passionate about. And that really helps them and help us narrow down, hey, this is where you should start. You know, this is what your resources are like. What's your time frame like, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's kind of funny. I mean, you got to pick something. Yeah. You got to pick something and run with it, all right? And it's going to change over time. That's right. Like our model is constantly changing. I hate to say this, but it is, isn't it? Our model is constantly changing. I mean, we have several sources that we work with. We have HUD, which is a big majority of our deals. Then we have unadvertised properties, like leads that we get from the We Buy Houses signs. And then we have foreclosure, bank-owned, realtor-listed type properties, MLS type properties. Okay, we have those as well. And then there's other sources, you know, referrals, wholesalers, different things. But you got to focus. Like, for example, you can make a lot of money in short sales. I know you got students that are doing short sales, and we've done short sales. We know how to do them, but I hate a short sale. In my opinion, a short sale is a long buy. I don't really like it. It doesn't mean you can't make money with it. It doesn't mean you should stop if you like doing it. But here's the thing. You only have so many hours in the day, and you have to make a decision. What do you know, like, and want to do? Because if you're working short sales and you don't like them, you won't be in the business very long. That's right. Okay? That's very, very important. You're not going to be in the business very long. You need to determine what do you like to do. You need to ask yourself questions like, am I an inside person or outside person? Okay? Do you like working at the desk in front of the computer, or do you want to go out and visit the job sites? Do you want to go out and deal with the tenants? Do you want to go out and lease the properties? Do you want to go out and manage the rehab or oversee the rehab? You got to decide, what do you want to spend your time doing? Because if you're not enjoying spending your time, it's not going to last very long, right?
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm telling you. So, guys, pick what you want to do. Determine what it is you want to do, and then I want you to focus on that. All right? I want you to focus on that because you only have so many hours in the day. And by the way, I talked about most people get into real estate to get out of their day job. If you want to keep your day job, that's great. I know we have nurses, doctors, school teachers that they love what they're doing. They're giving back. It's a part of their service, and they love doing that. You don't have to quit your day job, but if you want to, do not, and I repeat, do not quit your day job until your real estate income is at least as high or higher than your job income, right?
That's right. That's right. You work your part-time until it financially replaces your full-time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to make sure about that. Make sure about that. Well, what we're going to do now is I'm going to kind of turn it over to Randolph, and Randolph is going to talk to you about building your team. Guys, real estate is not a solo career, okay? You've got to have people that you work with. You've got to have people on your team, okay? So, Randolph, tell us a little bit about that.
And it really ties into what you're talking about with time. I mean, we all get the same amount of time each day, okay? If you have a full-time job, I mean, we got to be practical about it. Business hours from now, and, most people sometimes are hard to catch in the evenings, sometimes even on the weekends, okay? So how can you maximize the 24 hours you have? Well, duplicate yourself. Find others that you can leverage your time through to do some of the tasks that need to be done throughout the day. And you do that by forming a team. And look, this is important. This isn't just for the new person. This is for the experienced guy. I have people come to me all the time. Now, not all of our students are brand new. Okay, a lot of our students are very seasoned investors. And they come and say, hey, Randolph, look, man, I'm doing 3, 4, 5 deals a month, but man, I need to take it to the next level. One of the top things that help them take them to the next level is incorporating a team. A lot of times it's not enough people doing the necessary task in their business.
Absolutely.
And they're trying to do everything. And I don't know, maybe it's a guy thing, okay? And I think I found out more guys. We have this control aspect. We want to do it all.
I want to do it myself.
That's right. That's right. That's right. But again, not that you can't, but it's going to limit how far you can take your business. So when you're thinking about building a power team, I feel that one of the biggest relationships that you need to have is a real estate agent or real estate agents, realtors. Why is that? Because they're in the trenches day in and day out. Okay, these folks went and got a license. They're looking at what's going on with the market, and the good ones are tracking it. They're adjusting their business to around what the market is doing. So it is vital, I believe, to have someone on your team that knows what's going on around you. See, look, yes, we're in Lakeland Holly, South Carolina, but we're doing deals in North Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, Virginia. We're moving into Tennessee, and we got a big goal this year to be in 16 states. You may hear that like 16 states. How in the world? It's because we're good at building teams. Look, man, I don't have to know anything about Kentucky personally to do deals in Kentucky. I just got to surround myself with people who do. Find myself good, knowledgeable agents who are doing deals, who are out there in the trenches buying housing, selling houses, listings. I mean, man, look, you don't have to tread new ground and learn and figure out something new. It's already being done. Surround yourself with good real estate agents. A good place to do that, I like, is Zillow and Realtor.com. Zillow and Realtor.com. The reason why I like that, because they provide a profile for the agent. See, I'm not just looking for any kind of agent. See, I'm an investor, okay? And most agents don't like investors. They've heard a lot of horror stories, and I promise you, most of those stories are true. I tell you, when I got started, I wasted a lot of realtors' time, just trying to figure out the business. You know what? That word gets around. So most agents don't want to work with investors. So you got to find an investor-friendly agent. So with Zillow and Realtor.com, what I'm looking for, someone who has a profile that's, they're working with REO property. They're working with bank-owned property. They're working with short sales. But not just that, they got investor clients. Not only that, I'm looking for an agent who maybe even invested themselves. Look, we picked up a HUD property the other day, and I called the agent in the area because I wasn't too familiar with the area. And I called one guy, he wasn't very helpful. One agent, I called another agent. His first words to me were, "Friend, you've made the right call." Those were his words. He said, "You've made the right call." He said, "I got investor clients. I'm an investor. In fact, the house you're looking at, I've been bidding on it. I've been through that house. Okay, and here's what I can tell you. And I'm just giving you a little back. I'm telling you how vital this phone call was. I told the agent, based on the comps I was looking at, I'm thinking this house should sell for around 170 and 160. And he said, friend, you are dead on. You fix this property up, it's going to sell for 160, 165. But let me also tell you this, it's going to take 1.5 years for it to sell. I'm like, really? I said, I can't wait 1.5 years to sell this house. I said, look, my clients I need to be out of the house 30 to 60 days. He said, if you want to fix this property up and be out of it in 30 to 60 days, you can't sell it for more than 120. That changed the game, friend. Rest assured, we didn't buy that house because the numbers didn't work. But what if I just looked at the comps and went on and purchased that property based on what I saw in the comps and didn't make a phone call?
Yeah.
You see, so that's how vital that relationship is. Now granted, all agents aren't created equal, okay? So all agents aren't going to be knowledgeable. So you're not just looking for an investor-friendly agent who like to work with investors or maybe an investor themselves. You're looking for somebody who's knowledgeable of the area. Like in most of the territories I'm working, ideally, I like to find 2 attributes of my agent. They're hungry and knowledgeable. But not all the time am I going to find that in one agent.
Write that down, guys.
And that's important, hungry and knowledgeable. But if you think about that, usually the hungry agent is probably the new agent and aren't quite very knowledgeable yet. The knowledgeable agent probably isn't still that hungry because they've got a clientele going and they've got themselves established. So not often when you find those 2 attributes in one agent. So in some cases, I got to find 2 agents. One I can call on. I give you an example. I got in Fayetteville, North Carolina, a great location for us. Man, I got 2 agents, and they're great at what they do. The first agent, this girl is the bomb. I'm telling you. Look, she gets up a lot of listings. She got a lot of investor clients. I mean, she is the go-to agent. If you're looking to find out what the values are, I can just give her a neighborhood and a zip code. Tell her what the beds, bath, and square footage is, and she'll tell me exactly what the house will sell for. Now, on the other hand, if I want to make an offer through her, it's going to take 2 or 3 days. Okay? So I got another agent. And this girl here, she is off the chain for what she does. Look, I don't call her for numbers. Okay, if I want to find out what a house will sell for, she's not the call to make. But if I need to make an offer in the next 20, 30 minutes, friend, she is on the ball. Wow. So I can get my offers out really quick with her, but if I need some numbers, I call the other one. So, but again, and not all the time will you know who's starting out. That's why you got to surround yourself and build many relationships. Call multiple agents. Look, you're just looking to make a friend. Okay? People do business with people they like. Okay? So it's important that especially when you're new, and I find this around a lot of new people, because they don't know a lot, they feel hesitant about calling people because they don't want to sound new, and they don't want to say the wrong word. Not use the lingo correctly.
The fear.
That fear. We talked about that. Yeah. The fear of sounding new. Look, forget about that. Forget about that. The thing is that you're there to build a relationship. Tell them what your business plan is. Hey, here, I'm an investor. I'm just looking to do deals in this area, and I need a knowledgeable agent like yourself to help me. Okay? But let me tell you another reason why these agents are important. Not only can they help you with finding values and finding property, but also, too, they know people. They know contractors. They know good real estate attorneys. They know good mortgage brokers. That's right. They know good title companies. You see, so oftentimes when I establish an agent with that the relationship with that agent, one of the first things I'm asking about, say, hey, I need a good contractor in the area. You know anybody? 8 times, 9 times out of 10, they know a good contractor who've done some work for someone in the past. I bet so. So why is that important? Because here's what I want you guys to keep in mind. When you're looking at a property, there are 2 questions you got to have answered. Okay? 1, how much work does this house need? What's it going to take to get this house back up to market standard? Yeah. 2, once the work is done and the house is nice and pretty, what will it sell for or rent for?
That's all you need.
Those are the 2 vital questions you have to ask and have answered. And your agent, a lot of times, is the key to that. They can help you with what the house would sell for. They can help you with what the rent's for. Yeah. They may not can walk through a house and tell you what work, how much it's going to cost to patch the drywall or fix the roof, but they probably know somebody who does. And it all starts with that relationship. So having those keys in place, it starts with that vital relationship of the realtor.
That's so true. And guys, Randolph mentioned it. A lot of people won't call the realtors because of the fear.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Don't get embarrassed about it. Don't let it bother you. I mean, sometimes you're going to get realtors on the phone, just like, I mean, realtors are no different than anybody else. They're just people. You might have called them at a bad time.
Right.
You might have, I mean, I remember one time I called up this realtor and I was asking about a property, and I could tell she was just very standoffish, very short in her answers. So I just said, hey, I'm really sorry. All I'm really trying to do here is buy a house. I'm a cash buyer. Should I call someone else? And she broke down and started crying, and she said, my mom just passed away 3 days ago, and I'm trying to work. I'm trying to deal with all that. See, we have no idea what's on the other end of that phone.
That's right.
You don't have any idea what's on the other end of that phone. So you got to make sure that you just fake it till you make it.
That's right.
And if a realtor's giving you a hard time, if well, no, you need to come look at it before, don't be afraid to use words like, let me tell you how we work.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you how we work. This is what we do, okay? Don't be afraid to do that. And also, don't be afraid to ask the realtor if you're brand new. You can say that. I've said this to people in training our inner circle students right here in this room in our office. I've said this to students or to realtors to show the students. I would say something like, if a realtor would say something like, well, what do you need to know that for? That has nothing to do with it. I might say something like, well, I'm really sorry. I'm brand new. I'm trying to get educated as much as I can, and all I really need is somebody that can work with me. I've got money, or I've got my money lined up, and I'm ready to buy some houses. Will you help me? Appeal to their good nature, right?
That's exactly right.
Excellent.
Exactly right.
And the realtor will help you build your other team members,
That's right? Absolutely.
Who else you need on your team?
You got realtors, contractors. Look, a VA. I mean, the VA is vital to our team.
You got a team of them, don't you?
Yes, I do.
So does Paul.
That's exactly right. Me and Paul both. We have a team of VAs that are helping us make offers on properties for the fraction of the cost that it would take this
$2 an hour.
There you go. That's exactly right. So, but yeah, I mean, just building relationships with like-minded people, professionals in that particular market is absolutely key. Absolutely key.
That's right. And what you do is you call the realtor about a property. You're not going to call up realtors, hey, I'm an investor, I'm looking to get into investing, I'm looking for a realtor. No, you call about a property, and that property has a realtor attached to it. And you're looking for two things. Can I work with this realtor, and can I buy this house? The two things right there.
That's right.
Can I buy this house? Can I work with this realtor? Okay? So there you have it for building your team. Randolph, I really do appreciate it. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Billy is going to talk to you about where to get the money, okay? Where to get the money.
That's going to be good.
Simply the best real estate mentoring. Accelerate your growth with Larry's Inner Circle. Come spend a week with us in Lake Wiley, South Carolina, or we'll even send Randolph to your home. Learn from the best and you'll pass the test. Find out more, get your free 30-minute strategy session today by calling 803-831-2858 and mentioning Invest in Yourself. Once again, 803-831-2858. Mention Invest in Yourself, and we'll give you a free 30-minute investor strategy session. You can also find out more about the Inner Circle Mentoring Program by visiting larrysinnercircle.com. Once again, that is larrysinnercircle.com.
Okay, welcome back. What's happening? How are you guys doing? I hope you're enjoying our first premiere, or excuse me, worldwide premiere, as Todd puts it, of Invest in Yourself. And I have with me here to share with this segment all about, well, what is it you're going to talk about?
Billy.
Billy. Well, I know who you are. I'm sorry. Bill Fairman from, what's the name of it? Carolina Hard
Money. Thank you.
CarolinaHardMoney.com.
First of all, I want to thank Larry for letting us become part of this segment. I think you guys are going to get a great education from all of this. It's one of the things, as I'm listening to the broadcast, some of the other areas of education, which is a must. You need to be a member of your local RIA groups. Finding financing is very easy in your local RIA groups. You make all kinds of connections within it. It's a small price to pay. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
What I'm going to discuss is why you would want to finance a property. Some folks do it because they don't have any choice. They don't have the money to invest in a property, and they need somebody to loan them the money to do it. I would like to talk about why you would want to finance a property when you have plenty of money. Okay? We like to call that in the business OPM, using other people's money.
There you go.
And why would you do that if you have plenty of your own? Well, the key is you're now shifting the majority of the risk in that fix and flip property to the lender versus yourself. The other thing is that you're kind of trapped in a property. If you put all your money, you're not financing anything, you're using all your money to buy the house, to fix it up, you're trapped in that house until you sell it. You miss out on other opportunities to get bargains while you're waiting to get this home sold.
Right.
Okay? So I'm going to go to a screen share, and we're going to give you an example of what I'm talking about. Okay, so you're going to fix and flip using all your own money. Here's the example that I put together. So we're looking at a house that should sell for somewhere around $200,000. Our purchase price is $98,000. We're assuming a rehab budget of around $40,000. Now keep in mind that there's always going to be an overage. If it's not an overage, then you've got a bonus. So whenever you're figuring out your rehab budget, please put a contingency in there, because this is real estate. You don't know what you're getting into until you start tearing down walls. There's going to be an issue. It's usually not a big issue, but you need to build that into your budget. Attorney closing cost $1,000. Property insurance, it's going to range from $400 to $1,000. Why would I get insurance on this thing? Because I'm not financing it, and a mortgage company isn't forcing me to. Well, if the place burns down while you're fixing it up, you're still losing all your money. You need to get insurance regardless of whether you're financing it or not. So total out of your pocket in this deal is $139,500. Okay, so the house sells for $200,000. I went ahead and added a realtor fee of 6%. That's $12,000 you're going to be paying out. So your profit on this deal is $48,500, somewhere in the neighborhood. Now, again, you're using all your own funds, and again, you're kind of trapped until you can sell the other one. So I'm suggesting that the max you're going to be able to do using all your own money is going to be 2 a year. $97,000 in profit, 2 properties a year is not bad. Okay, but let's take this example using someone else's money. So the prices are the same, $98,000 for the purchase price. The rehab budget's the same. Now I'm adding an appraisal fee, because a lender is going to require you to get an appraisal. Your loan amount is, in this case, is going to be $138,000. Our fees on this, we charge 5%, $8,285, and then I've added 6 months worth of payments at 15%, $10,350. Now your total out of pocket on this deal now is $19,085. Now you should also add the $1,500 in the attorney cost and the property insurance, which I didn't add to that. But look at the fraction of the money that's out of your pocket into this deal using someone else's money. So the house sells for $200,000. The realtor fee again $12,000. You're paying off the loan of $38,000 because it was an interest-only loan, and then again we're adding our fees, the 6 months worth of payments, the appraisal fee. Your profit on that deal is $30,915. Is that less than the $48,000? Absolutely. You do 2 a year, it's at 61 versus the 97 that we discussed a little bit earlier. But here's where it helps you out. Now instead of worrying about having to sell that house before I can move into the next one, now another deal pops up. You can do 3 at a time. Now your profit is up to $185,000. if you can do it 4 at a time, which is not a problem usually, because again, you haven't invested a ton of your own money into this. You're using other people's money. $247,000. This is how you scale up your business from somebody that's doing 1 at a time, twice a year. This is how you really move to the next level. So let me recap this particular deal. Total out of your pocket on the one where you're doing it yourself is the full $139,500 that you're investing. Maximum twice a year is going to be $97,000. So total out of your pocket using other people's money on 3 homes would be $57,000 for a twice a year of $185,000. Now here again, total out of your pocket for 4 homes is $76,000. That's half of your initial investment on the first one. So you've got money for cash flow. I'm telling you, the people that got hurt the worst during the mortgage crisis were those people that had everything leveraged and had very little cash. Now, real estate is the best investment that I know of. Been doing it most of my life, but it's not liquid. And when you need to sell it, it's going to take you a little while. That's why you need to hold on to as much of your own cash as possible, because it gives you lots of wiggle room if things go wrong. Now, I'm going to go to a story, a couple of folks that we're already doing business with, and I'll give you an example of that. We have a customer that had bought one house from us, and they had a ton of money in the bank. As a matter of fact, I was approaching them to be an investor versus a borrower, and they're smart folks. They said, no, we're keeping this money for contingencies and making it available for us to pick up deals as we go along. They're using exactly the same strategy. Now here's what happens. They have 3 deals with us at the same time. One of them, there was issues with contractors. There was a lot more work than they thought initially, because again, when you take down the walls, you don't know. You don't have x-ray vision. You can have the house inspected. Again, unless they go inside the walls, you don't know everything that could be wrong with the property. So it turns out in this particular deal, they made about $12.80 profit.
Better than a loss.
That's right. But if they'd have sunk all their money and time into this one project, and they're spending 4 to 6 months of their life invested in this, and they come out with a $12.80 profit, are you really going to want to get back into this and do it again? Most people would probably back out, I would say, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, and they would have made a little bit more if they would have paid cash.
Sure.
But there's an opportunity lost for the money. At least it's not their money. What if it had been a loss? Okay. So you would a lot rather use OPM or other people's money to do that.
And in the meantime, the other 2 deals they have going with us, they ended up selling one of them. They got one that's under contract now, and both of those deals they're really knocked out of the park. So that's the example of why you should use other people's money, even if you have plenty of money. If you don't mind, as I had other people that were suggesting other ways of financing, and I know you were talking about this, and it's a little off of my subject matter here, but I wanted to elaborate. LinkedIn is another good way to find investors and money for people as well. LinkedIn is a social media site that was really set up for people to do resumes. It was, what do you call it? Anyway.
It's like a business social network.
It was set up for headhunters, essentially.
Oh, okay.
And then it evolved into business owners and people that are in business as a social networking site for business people. There are tons of people out there that have self-directed retirement accounts. There's investor groups in there. So get involved in LinkedIn. There's plenty of people that are local to you in LinkedIn that you can get relationships with that have money that want to invest, and that's another great way to find financing as well.
And you can even run ads on LinkedIn too.
Absolutely. Now, we are a full-time lender, and we want your business. but it doesn't mean we're the end-all be-all. There's plenty of other ways to find financing for your properties. The main thing is you want to try to move that risk to somebody else besides yourself and allow for more opportunities for you to make more money as you go further down the road. You want to be able to scale that business up where you can really hit the ground running. So
awesome.
I'm good.
That's good stuff.
By the way,
man.
did you miss me from when I was in here earlier?
Did I miss you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the world premiere episode. All right. Well, Billy, you also do some transactional funding, right?
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
We do transactional funding in every state, and what Randolph had mentioned earlier, all we have to do is show proof that the money is in there from your buyers at the attorney's office, and we will fund 100% of your purchase price. We just have to verify that your buyer's money is already there. We charge 2 points, or there's a flat fee as well. I think it's $2,500.
Whichever,
Yeah.
2 points or 2,500.
Correct.
Okay.
The minimum would be 2,500.
Right.
But it's essentially one-day financing, and that's all you need it for anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to get your property financed that you can assign it.
That's true. That's absolutely true. And Billy and Wendy and Kelly, their executive assistant / QuickBooks expert / bookkeeper / processor.
Yeah, she really runs the business. And
she really does.
I was laughing about the virtual assistants for $2 an hour. I can guarantee you that our assistant is not virtual. She sits right across the room from me, and we pay her a lot more than $2 an hour.
Well, she's dealing with money too.
That's right. That's right.
That's a big difference. And other people's money, OPM.
Absolutely.
So that's a big difference. But they do a great job, guys. They're awesome at what they do. And they're actually my hard money lender. What I mean by that is I invest money with them, and they lend it out. They lend it out for my mom, for my wife, and my son.
There you go.
My son, he has a hard money loan too. So, yeah, it's kind of funny. But that's a whole other story right there. So we're going to take a quick break. Thank you, Billy.
Thanks,
and
man.
when we come back, what am I going to talk about? We're going to talk about giving you clarity, helping you get some clarity. And we're going to take your questions live. So come right back.
Our next episode of Invest in Yourself is coming to you live on April 22nd at noon Eastern. Larry and the team will be back, including Randolph, Paul, Bill, and Wendy. So mark your calendars now and get yourself pre-registered. Visit investinyourself.tv to pre-register now. Once again, that is investinyourself.tv.
Hey everybody, and welcome back. This is the final session or segment of Invest in Yourself, and I really appreciate you guys being on here. I've been looking as like Billy was talking or Randolph or Paul were talking. You guys have put a lot of comments in the chat. I really appreciate your feedback. I really appreciate your comments. I appreciate your interaction with us. And we're going to take some live Q&A here in just a few minutes. And but remember, this type of environment here, there's only so much we can give you. And I was reading through a minute ago, just little things like you mentioned about comps at Zillow and Zillow and Trulia and things like that. You know, there's a lot of other places we get comps as well. If you're on Zillow, make sure you look at the sold comps, not the for sale or what the Zestimate is, because that's irrelevant. Okay. But just a little thing, and I appreciate that comment, to clarify, because I wouldn't want other people to think all we do is look at the Zestimate. That's not true.
Not at all.
That's not true. We even use, Paul has another service we use. What is it called? Is it RealQuest or RealLogic? RealQuest.
Yep.
We use RealQuest as
Yep.
well. Now that's a paid service, if I'm not mistaken. So, but we use that as well for some comps. So let's jump right in here and talk about clarity. Okay. Clarity is the fifth biggest challenge that I hear people talk about. Guys, there's so much information out there. This is it. We've been giving you information for the last hour and a half. This is information. This is content. This is stuff you can use, but people get inundated with all kind of information. There's YouTube, there's ebooks, there's books out there, there's all kind of stuff. So you just get inundated. You've got to learn to separate the relevant from the irrelevant, okay? You've got to learn to focus. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a firm believer in education. You've heard me talk about my library. I mean, many of you that have been here to my office have seen my library, but you got to learn to separate the relevant from the irrelevant, and you need to be able to focus on something. I talked about it a little bit earlier about time, but you've got to pick something and you got to run with it. You got to put the blinders on. There's so many different ways to do real estate. There's wholesaling, there's retailing, lease options, subject to, short sales. You could be a private money lender, you could be a hard money lender, you could do landlording. You could do just any number of things, okay? You could do tax deeds, tax liens. You could do HUDs. You could do you could be a bird dog even just starting out. So there's so many things. But in my opinion, I think the most important thing is figure out what you like and dislike. Figure out your strengths, your weaknesses, your assets, your liabilities, and then figure out where you are and where you want to be. And I don't care where on the scale you are, if you're just starting out or if you're already, like Randolph said, he's got a lot of students that are already successful investors doing 3, 4, 5 deals a month. They just want to take it to that next level. So wherever you are, you want to get to here. Even if you're here, you want to get up to here. That's why we're in masterminds and still go to advanced training events. We went to an advanced event just about a month ago. It was an advanced real estate strategies event down in Atlanta. So I'm always getting educated. Randolph and Paul and our other team members are always getting educated on real estate. So what are some of the things, Randolph, that you see that you're able to help your students with and provide clarity?
Well, and you touched on some, being able to help them identify what their likes are, what their dislikes are. Because, even though there are multiple strategies, some of them, all of them are not the same. They don't consist of having the same moving parts. I mean, for someone who's not detail oriented, you probably should be a rehabber. I mean, you got to be able to pay attention to detail and stay on top of things to successfully rehab. Or if they don't have a lot of time. If you don't have a lot of time, it's going to be really tough to do a rehab. Because it's going to take some time. So, just being able to help them identify what their likes and what their dislikes are. Because a lot of my students, they just come to me and say, "Hey, man, I want to do some deals.
I want to make some money.
I want to make some money." I said, "That's great, and so do I. But let me help you identify what's going to be the best road for you to take to make that money with what you currently have available to you, and your again, like you say, your likes and your dislikes."
That's true. That's true. Guys, I was just thinking as Randolph was talking about that is one of the things that we do here in our office. If you would like, to talk with one of our team members here in the office and help you get some clarity on what you want to do and help you decide to go down a right path, whatever that path may be, then just call us. Give us a call. Let me give you the number, 803-831-2858. One of our business advisors will sit down and talk to you and help guide you down the right path, whether it's doing wholesaling or lease options or short sales or landlording. I personally don't like landlords. I think the only thing wrong with real estate is tenants, okay? I don't like tenants. I have homeowners in training, okay? There is a difference, right?
Yeah, there is.
There is a difference. I either do seller financing, land contracts, or lease options. I want them, whether they are or not, I want them to think and have that mentality that they're buying that house. When they need a light bulb to be changed, I don't want them calling me. I don't want them calling me when the toilet stops up. Don't call me. That's your house.
Call a plumber.
Call a plumber, and you pay the bill. That's the way I set my people up. Now, don't get me wrong. I've got passive income. I've got properties that are bringing in money. But you got to remember, you got to do something that you like to do. You got to make it. You got to make it the right type of business for you. Okay. And one thing I learned a long time ago is a business is nothing but people. You're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. And everybody in this room here, the people you can see and the people you can't, They are top quality, top-notch people that put this thing on, that help us to be able to provide education and training and customer service and support and technology and all that good stuff. So please keep that in mind and remember. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and take some questions from you guys. I know you've had a lot of questions come up, and I see people here just shouting out, you know, hi from Florida, from Hawaii, a lot of different places, a lot of different people on here, and I'm just really impressed at how many people have been on here this premiere episode. So Todd, do we have any questions that you want to throw out there?
Hey Larry, we have one from Katrina. I've been focusing on REOs only. Is that smart, or should I expand into for sale by owners and other real estate categories?
That's a really, really good question. And you know, I'm a firm believer that, kind of like a doctor, prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. So, you know, for me to answer that question, the first thing I would say is I'd want to ask some more questions. I would want to ask you some more questions. You know, do you like REOs? Do you like working with the banks? Do you like working with HUD? And these are questions that you can ask yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like working with the MLS and you know, are you limited with time?
Yeah.
If you're limited with time, you can't go out and look at a for sale by owner property.
That's right.
You can't do a lot of bandit signs because you need to go out and meet with the people. You got to get them to like you and trust you, sit down at a table with them and get them to agree to sign a contract. With the realtor, you can send them an email. You can do digital offers like Paul told you about earlier, okay? So my question to you would be, what do you like? How much time do you have? What would you like to add, Randolph?
No, that's exactly it. I mean, even your resources, you know.
Yeah, that's
I mean, your resources. I mean, a lot of times you can get away with your earnest money deposit. Well, you may think, you know, $200, $300, $500 is not a lot. Well, it depends on who you ask.
That's
you know,
right.
what all about the sale by owner deals. I mean, our typical deposit is $50, $100. That may be right up someone's alley.
That's right.
The typical REO is anywhere from $500 to $1,000.
That's
that
right.
may be tough for someone starting.
That's
out.
right.
You know, so that's just some things you want to keep in mind.
That's really, really good. So I hope by answering it that way that we were really able to answer your questions. So think about the time, think about what you like to do, and think about how much money you have to work with. So thanks a lot, Katrina.
All right, Larry, this is a tough one. It's from Rodney. Is going to the Nothing But HUD event a good idea?
Well, let me tell you real quick about the Nothing But HUD event. And I saw that one too as I was scrolling. I kind of laughed, chuckled whenever I saw it. But the Nothing But HUD event is going to be all about what we do and how we do it in our HUD business. How we're able to buy HUD houses. About probably 80 to 90% of our deals are HUD deals, and that's why we're moving into other areas. And quite frankly, HUD is the fastest, cheapest, and simplest way to buy houses that I've found. I don't know if you guys know of a better source. You let me know, because they give you a PCR, a property condition report.
Yeah.
You have tons of pictures,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you already know a lot about the property, and it's all kind of automated. I mean, you got a team of people, and they're over there analyzing deals.
That's right.
I say over there, they're in Pakistan.
Right.
They're in Lahore, Pakistan. We got a little satellite office set up. We pay $70 per month per workstation, and they provide them with a phone, internet, and computer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we pay $2 an hour people in there, and we got one guy over there for $3.75 an hour. He's overseeing everybody.
Right.
And they spend about 10 to 12, maybe 15 minutes analyzing every deal on a Google Doc spreadsheet like Paul told you about earlier. And then Paul has another virtual assistant that she is in the Philippines, and she's entering those bids at HUDHomestore.com.
Right.
So at our Nothing But HUD event, you're going to get to meet Amir. You're going to get to meet Mercy, those two I just told you about. You're going to get to meet, you know, HUD asset managers, buyers agents, listing agents, HUD listing agents, some HUD insiders that are going to share with you some inside techniques and strategies and things that you may never even knew about, and probably never will from any other source, about how the inside back workings work at HUD asset managers, with HUD, and with buyers agents and listing agents, as well as investors. And Randolph's going to be there. You're going to be teaching and training. Paul's going to be there. He's going to be teaching and training as well. Myself, Wendy Sweet, Bill Fairman's going to be there. So, you know, yes, if you're interested in HUD, if you want to know how to do HUD houses, you know, there's no other event like this anywhere in the world. I've never seen it. I know there's people out there who have written HUD books, but there's no other event I've ever seen that's like this, and we do, as of right now, I think we have 37, 36 seats left. We've had a few come in recently, so it's almost sold out. It's not a free event. You do have to pay because I got to get all these people to come in. So yeah, you are going to have to pay to come to the event. But if you're interested in HUD houses, there's no other source I know of that's going to provide you with that kind of education and training at that level from behind the scenes, people in the business. Yeah.
All right, we had a couple of comments that were really relevant to what we talked about today.
Cool.
Elsa said we are U.S.-based virtual assistants trained in real estate, and we all use Google Drive to interact with our investors.
Awesome.
Patty also said we work with investors who fund everything, and we do back-to-back closings. The only outlay on our part is our time. We made this connection at our local RIA meeting.
Awesome. That's great.
We do have a question from Patricia. For Evernote, are you using Evernote Web?
Are we using Evernote Web? That would be a Paul question, probably. Paul, come on up here.
I use a combination thereof with Evernote. I use Evernote Web because it has the web clipper. It's really cool because I can actually install in my Chrome or Firefox or Safari web browser, and I can just clip and point it straight to a notebook. I also really use it more for my phone, honestly, because I can do a lot of just notes on the go. I can take a screenshot of anything that's on my phone, send it right there. And also now with the new iOS update, you can also have Evernote as one of your forward buttons. So if like you're in Safari, you want that web page in your Evernote and you're on your iPhone, you just click on that. I'm sure it's the same thing with Android. I don't use those, but anyway, Droid. So at any rate, I actually like real phones. There's something about a real phone.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Get a smartphone. It has an Apple on it.
Exactly. So.
Sorry, I'm not sure what you said.
That was good timing.
That was great timing. So at any rate, right in there, when you click the little forward button to actually like forward it to a message or anything like that, you can actually add Evernote as one of the things you forward to. So I can be on Zillow, Trulia, anything like that, and actually just forward it straight to my Evernote. So I use a little bit of all of it.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, and I just download the app to my iPhone, and I also just have the app or program, I guess you would call it. Maybe you call it an app on the computer. That's what I use. I do not use the web-based myself. You know, but I really like it. I love it. I use it every single day. I have a to-do list, a daily to-do list, and then everything with different companies, different projects I'm working on, different together, and that sort of thing.
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. We have any more questions, Todd?
We had one I can answer really quick. We had a bunch of them. Is this being recorded? The answer is yes, and we will be doing the replay live on YouTube, and we'll let everybody know when that happens, but it will be on YouTube. We also have a question here from Lori. Where/how do I get you all to fund a deal? I just read the HUD Homes Half Off book, and it was awesome. I'm interested in getting help with my first of many deals.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, hey, by the way, if any of you guys did not get the HUD book yet, you can go to freehudbook.com, and we'll give you a free copy of it. That's freehudbook.com, just for our students. So go over there and check that out, and we'll send you the digital version. And if you want the physical version, we'll shipping. So, but anyway, the digital version of the book. But I went through all that and I forgot even what the question was. Oh, about money. It's about money. Well, first thing you need to do is go to carolinahardmoney.com. Okay, and Billy loans in hard money, which is rehab loans, in the Carolinas primarily, but they are moving outside of the Carolinas on a case-by-case basis. But they also do transaction funding in all states. So if you're buying a house and selling it and doing it the same day, then you can use Billy and Wendy and Kelly for that at carolinahardmoney.com.
All right, we do have one more question we have time for today.
Sure.
This one came from Friend. Do you need to
Friend.
be an agent or broker to join a RIA?
An agent or a broker to join a RIA? That's a really good question. It's one that, I've been around them so long I never would have thought about. But what RIA stands for, let me just back up a little bit. What RIA stands for is Real Estate Investors Association. And there's all kinds of investors association out there. The ones that you probably want to join, if you can, if there's some in your area, is you want to go to National RIA, nationalreia.com, and click on Find a Local Group. Now, National RIA is a nonprofit association that a lot of groups all around the country are members of, like the one that we're members of, we're members of a lot of them, but the ones that, and it's in our local area, is Metrolina RIA, and it's a nonprofit, and it is a local chapter of National RIA. And there's a lot of benefits that you can get by being a member of a local chapter of National RIA. So that was a long about way of telling you that no, you don't have to be licensed. You don't have to be a realtor or a broker or anything like that. It's for people to learn real estate investing. And at your local RIA group, they have every month, they have monthly meetings, and they'll have maybe a panel, they'll have, something like this, they'll have, different speakers come in. It might be somebody from code enforcement, somebody from city council, it might be a local landlord talking about landlord-tenant laws, and then they also have people like myself and Paul and Randolph. We've all spoken at different local RIA groups, 3 or 4 or 5 of them we've all spoken at together.
Exactly.
And I travel around the country and speak at different groups. So it's a great place. If you're not a member of a local RIA group, you need to join one. Hey, if there's not one in your area, start one. Start one. And not all of them are affiliated with National RIA. You can also find some at meetup.com as well. There's a lot of sources there as well. So that was a great question. Do we have any more questions, Todd, that we want to answer? Okay, guys, I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much for being on. Billy and Randolph, come on back up here for a second. Guys, I just want to thank you guys for watching. I mean, we've had over 300 people on here today at a lunchtime, okay? So, guys, this is Paul, Randolph, and Billy, and myself signing off, telling you until next time, go out there and invest in yourself and make some money in real estate. And we really, really, really sincerely appreciate your business. We appreciate your confidence in us. And if there's anything at all we can do, please shoot us an email or give us a call, 803-831-2858. We'll be glad to help you in any way we can. We got a team here to help you become successful, and we want to be a part of your team. So thanks a lot, and we wish you the best. Bye-bye.